Welcome back. We're here and we're very excited to get to be with the Rude Awakening, the film crew, the group, the creators of this incredible awakening project. And as you know how Adamus is saying that this is such a big time in the expansion of humans, we're very excited to have the team here. Could we have you up here now, please? We have Sandra Rogerman, we have Jorge, George, and I guess it depends where you are. And Jonathan, as well as Teeth. So,
Good crowd.
yeah,
I know, right?
great energy. You know, I have some questions. Did you guys just want to do a little intro of yourselves, or would you like to go straight into the questions?
I would say just go straight into questions.
Yes, please. Okay. This is an incredible creative team, and it's amazing because we've been watching them work on this for a little while now, and it's quite exciting. So there's a few questions that come up about this Rude Awakening project. And again, we got to see some of it even in when we were in Bled, and then you've come, we've seen you all over the place, and it just keeps coming. I mean, it's a big project. So the big question that we have is, how did you come up with the idea?
Take this one.
Yeah, it was basically just Jonathan and I met 5 years ago at a Crimson Circle event. We met at a Crimson Circle event in Salzburg in 2014. And there was just always this feeling that there is something that we need to do with this expression of filmmaking, of storytelling, and of really expressing our journey and what it made us, to come to those realizations of, wow, I'm still here, this is a lifetime. This is really, feeling that bigger picture of how this lifetime just feels as a potential. I think we've all had that feeling of, oh, there's something really big waiting for me. Well, the big thing turned out to be realization, right? Not necessarily being on stage or anything, just having that, oh, wow, this is a big thing. And I think with Jonathan and I, it was just the connection of, wow, we need to do something with it. But it was a long time coming until we could really feel how that would be translated. And Jonathan being the storyteller and the filmmaker, we just kept riffing, and maybe you want to take it from here.
It went through a lot of iterations. It went from the first iteration is I'm going to interview all my heroes, like a Steve Jobs who was alive at the time, and sort of see how they put their creativity to achieve great things. And then the second step was wanting to find and interviewed real-life masters, people that have gone through it, that basically have made their realization. And after a while, we find out, yeah, that's some weird little accolades that puts this journey or this journey up to a possibly high pedestal, and it's not linear like that. So we let that idea go, and then finally it sort of seeped and distilled into something very, very, a journey that was in the now, that it is more about where are the people that are going through this and how are they dealing with it, rather than are they there yet, or how much money do they have in the bank account. That's sort of all useless.
Yeah, and something that always came up for me was, okay, we've had this point of I'm awake, and now what? How do you deal with this? What do you do? How do you live it? Especially when you have kids, especially when you have, how zen can you be when the dog shits on the carpet? It's like, how do you deal with that thing called mastery, and what does it even look like? Well, we really have no clue, right? So we're the first ones going through this. So that was really the one thing that I was so curious about, finding other people to share all of those stories. How do you do that, And first of all, of course, oh, wow, you made it too? Wow, we're here. What do we do with it now, right? And then through the network of the Masters Hub and the Crimson Circle, we've just met amazing, amazing people and came to wonderful conversations, and it just really ignited the whole creativity and inspiration for this project. And then meeting George who added his creativity to the project. So it just kept evolving, right? It's allowing and experiencing, like Adamus just said.
Yeah, and can you hear me? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go.
Oh, good.
Thank you. Yeah, no,
Wow.
Yeah. As we experienced today, the many layers of it, right? So personally, individually, and collectively as a team. Before the whole journey started for me personally, filmmaking was something I really dove into in my own human way, and had my own experiences in the area where I grew up in New Orleans and in Los Angeles, and then having gone through my own things, the loss of passion and everything with that. For me, filmmaking as a whole, at least the way I saw it then, completely left, as many of us have experienced. And so, going through my own journey, my own experiences, I thought I was done with it, at least my limited version and focused view of it, meaning filmmaking or storytelling or acting. And, but the true passion was always there. And then meeting Jonathan and Sandra, actually when we first met, we didn't even know we were filmmakers. Yeah, we didn't. We just dug each other. We're like, man, high five and another guy. But seriously, it was meeting someone else physically as well that what was being real, and wasn't actually trying to be that I'm more enlightened than you are, or oh, you still have this to go through, and it was like, really? So for us, the three of us, it was really like, oh wow, I see you, wow. This is really nice. And then through the course of getting to know each other, wait, what? You're a storyteller? You're a what? Really? And then it's there. Then the wheels start spinning again. And at the time, I was living in Oregon, something that Linda referenced before, being all over the place. And anyways, right?
It was a compliment.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, and thank you. Yeah. And now it is. But yeah. Yeah. But at the time, getting to know each other, the project, I was always aware of it from my end. And something else that I think this might ring true, because we've had a few conversations with many of you, and that is I had my own feeling into some type of movie or documentary that I wanted to do personally. I just couldn't at the time I didn't have the skeleton or the structure of it yet. I could feel it, and again it would go away, right? And then it would come back stronger, and then it would go away. And then finally I just I stopped trying to it needs to be this way. And then meeting each other, getting to know each other, through that course of the friendship, they asked me to be an interviewee. And so I was going to be an interviewee, but again...
But then it changed again.
And then it changed again.
Things escalated.
For me, I really have to go, after having, a lot of stuff crumble away, and instead of fighting that, now allowing, and really playing with the imagination of what that could be. And then what I used to, like I referenced before about feeling into what could be, started coming back in a way that I never imagined before. I shared those ideas with them, and how do you guys feel about this? And we were Skyping, Zooming, online stuff, and then quickly turned into, this can't, if it's going to go forward.
Oh, it's because of the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
We live on a farm.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi is absolutely crappy. So we were like, we better have these conversations in person. Don't you want to move here?
Right. Well, it's funny. Well, it's one of those things, like we experienced today, the Wi-Fi going out. But you get excited, and all of a sudden the screen freezes, and you're like, you go on this rant for like 10 minutes, and to realize we're not even connected anymore. We're like, what the? And that happened a few times. So along with other things, it was a commitment from me personally and for us. We really discussed it. What does that mean, taking that leap, moving cultures, leaving the old life, literally, family, uprooting new culture, new everything, and for them as well. And imagine like all the boxes, and we were like, yeah, let's do it. Dum, 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 dum. Take the dive. So moved, and we lived on their farm. I stayed in their guest house for the first 3 months, and it was actually, some hiccups here and there, but overall it was pretty At least for my, pretty awesome.
amazing.
It was amazing. Yeah.
And it really allows for the project to also settle with an extra member, because we started with 2 and now it's 3, so it resettles. But also what George then brought to the project, it's a whole new kind of energy that we all have our own expressions, each in different fields, and he brought his. So that means at first it had to recalibrate, but then actually it was sort of almost harvesting time, because he brought something extra to the table. So all of a sudden this whole project now had 3 legs instead of 2, and I can't stress how important how important it is to land something, especially something as energetic as our journey, or something a passion project like a film. It's like Adamus wasn't kidding when he says that most people can't handle the energy, and we were holding on for dear life at some points. Because you make a movie about realization, and it goes, okay, that's a great focus. Now you go through it first. You go, that wasn't the deal.
And it's not just one; it's the 3 of us. So, and we're reflecting, going through the things ourselves, and then getting to the point where we're going, oh, we see a pattern. Oh, this is what's happening. Oh, okay. Well, do we want to continue experiencing that? No. Let's be. Or if something comes up, what's the underlining thing? Let's be real here. Like literally looking at each other going, it's not anything personal per se, but what is it? Okay, let's get to the bottom of that.
Because as we know, stuff comes up.
Yes.
You're in this setup. I mean, first for me it was a reality check, because it was just in our relationship talking about the project, and it was a very intimate, personal thing. And then inviting another creator into this and getting the reflections back, and then living together, and stuff comes up, and it was wild.
Yeah, wild with a underlining thing. Yeah, in many ways, though.
Wonderful. So, people would like to know, what do you hope to hear people saying after seeing this movie?
Ooh, that's a good one. We've talked about this for ages. For me personally, and guys, add on if you want. For me personally, it started as I want to understand it myself. My brain is very structured. So it's almost my way of interpreting what are the steps and what are the symptoms and what are the. So that's how it started. But as we went along, we added a lot of humor, a lot of a lot of comedy. Just are you able to laugh about yourself and with others? And one of the big staples of this film is making it accessible. How do you live this in life? It's great to go through your realization, and it's not a judgment. But if you're in a cabin in the woods, and I wish sometimes I could have done that, but ultimately, some of us still have jobs. We have to still take care of kids. There's these human things we have to do every day. So how do you bring it all the way back to something that's ground zero? The human life, but in that new freedom. And for me, I really hope that this documentary inspires a lot of people. They see it. They don't stumble over the lingo, over the spiritual lingo that sometimes goes very far out. Just keep it normal. We don't even use Crimson Circle lingo.
No.
It's completely clean, and hopefully.
That's I really applaud that, because that doesn't limit. Then your audience doesn't get limited or distracted.
Mm-hmm. And mind you, we know what's cooking, but there's a lot of people that will watch this might not even come through the Crimson Circle, might not even ever heard of the Crimson Circle. So that's, if you then use lingo like Macchio, then all of a sudden they go, what does that mean?
Right.
And I want them to concentrate on, hey, that could be me. And then George and I added a really big layer of comedy and filmic, like a cinematographic layer. We want to make this not just a documentary, but a cinematic documentary. So there's a lot of embellishment. There's a lot of acting out. There's a lot of sequences that almost like make you, take the audience on this sort of dream ride. And hopefully through that, the audience will recognize some parts in themselves and go home going, oh, could that be true? And B, could that be me? And they don't have to agree. I think that's beside the point.
Worst case scenario is that they are well entertained. That they just go, that was fun to watch.
I would be very disappointed if it wasn't.
Or shocked, Jonathan. I don't know if I'm ever going to completely recover from doing your impressions of your female aspects.
It haunts me to this day.
Those were way too good.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. Yeah, you know, and to continue what Jonathan was saying about the dream, almost like a dream adventure. For us, it was really important also to, and as Sandra said, the entertainment, because a lot of times, as many of us know in our own experiences, it can get really mental quickly, or very esoteric, or very conceptual, or theoretical, or scientific. But to make those concepts that are that way, and you know, it hasn't been easy, and at times we have to go back, because again, we look at it from many different angles, not just to, you know, not to do this to anyone, but also to make it fun, to make it accessible, and to make it entertaining, because the comedic factor, sometimes we found in our own research that it's not that. So then that way it gets to the other side of it, you know. But if we've done that well, then the viewer will go, oh, have that reflection of going, oh, wow, I was really, you know, hard on myself for all of those things. Why the hell did I do that? So anyway, there's all the different layers of that, but the comedy is a big one.
That's why we dressed him up in drag.
Yes, hence the, yeah, and that was another thing. You know, we realized that, you know, a lot of things that, you know, the dark or those experiences that sometimes aren't that fun, we wanted to put that in a different light per se.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
You know, just watching that, there's so many times where when you see this kind of material, they just slam you to sleep. And you guys did something just pure entertainment with all those incredible concepts in it. How did that feel to be working on that? Was it an agreeable situation?
I'd like to take that one. Because I think I said it in Bled, but I need to say it again, just because I think we have more people viewing now, and you'll feel me. Living with a filmmaker who has all quotes in his head and, you know, can't remember names of people that he meets on the street every day, but he knows all the directors out there. I could not keep up. So every time we would watch a movie, he's like, yeah, and that's that director. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't really, you know, it's not so important for me. And then having George live with us, it was like amazing. I could just step back and sit and sip my wine and just go, the two of them just enjoy this. So that was basically, for me, that was like the biggest thing. Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, it's funny, you know. Sometimes we have those interactions when we meet someone who, you know, you share many things and many layers again of it. But you know, it's really rare. I mean, you know, growing up in the Netherlands and here in the States for most of my life, and then you meet someone who you say something and you're like, oh, I saw it, and you know, without even saying something, they finish what you're thinking, and vice versa.
What's the term? Brother from another mother?
Yeah. So you know, it's really hilarious. So being very aware of that, and also the three of us, and infusing that into the project itself.
Mind you, the budget, and there was no budget.
Yeah.
So to begin with, it was very much people that supported us, like the Crimson Circle, giving us a platform to be able to express this in a way that we felt appropriate. But, you know, making the trailer, we had no budget. It was just basically saying, yeah, let's play. And then George is like, let's do this. And Jonathan says, but that's really expensive. George's like, that doesn't really matter. We'll make it work, you know. So we were just taking left foot, right foot, and it just keeps continuing to be so. But of course, by putting ourselves out there, we now have even bigger supporters that cheer us on and say, you know, I really want to have this documentary made, and you guys are just doing it so well. So that's the biggest gift for us, that we have people along this way that support us and that help us out in any way that they can, and just the energy of feeling chambre in this project, that gives it wings.
It really landed it. We really landed it together. That's for sure. Absolutely.
I'd really like to add something here, because that's awesome, and I love what you just said, because it's one thing that we've, again, noticing the patterns, but now the good patterns, you know. We regularly stop and pause and acknowledge where we are now. Like the other night the other day actually, shooting up with Jean, she took us up on this path that Jonathan had hiked with her once before, and so it was epic. And Tees, our cinematographer, We trekked it up there with Tad and with Gary. Thank you for doing that as well. And
Risking life and limb.
yeah, no, literally. And so we took up all the equipment, and we shot the shot that we wanted. And parts of us, Sandra, being the producer, rightfully so, and having her concerns and like, there's nothing
Safety
over there.
first.
Yeah, and Jonathan's like, barely, no, I'm fine. I have a mountain license, and and it's like,
How's
what does
that gonna
that
help
mean?
you when you
What do
fall
you
off
have
the
a mountain
mountain?
license? It's not gonna work if you what? Yeah, anyway. But and then T's standing up there like, this is the shot, and then I'm sitting there in my view, looking at my monitor. It's like, it's perfect, and Sandra's like, oh my gosh. Anyways, and then we're up there and take a moment. This is one of those moments, right? Very symbolic and also metaphoric for our own journey, So there was something else I wanted to say that because some of you asked yesterday at the restaurant and have asked this before, and that is. You said, like, okay, what is it? And we can either play here, or can we open up and maybe here, or over here, or over here? But sometimes our minds can only see this. And I say that for myself because like many of us, we've lived and I've experienced where everything else, everything here. But I want to experience this or that, or let's see what happens. So we remind ourselves of that constantly, and it's that constant leaping and trusting. Right? Now that it's becoming second nature, but we enjoy actually pausing and acknowledging that. And I know many of you, because interacting with you in your own Mash'em projects, are experiencing that as well. And that's awesome.
And what was amazing, I mean, I'd love to share this. We started making the trailer, and I did very well I shoot commercials and make video games and that sort of stuff. So we literally pumped a lot of money we didn't have into a trailer, like, okay, this needs to be high end, because if we want to, this is the vision, is a cinematic documentary.
If you do it well.
Yeah, so we were I was seeing the budget going, oh my God. And then amazingly, because we made the choice, and all of a sudden Crimson Circle said, we want to sponsor you guys. And we're like, oh my God. Because I've leaped, and we were spending money responsibly, but it was like, it goes super fast. So that happened, and then as we prepared the trailers, we had a presentation in Bled, and we focused on, okay, now we want to make this bigger, and we actually got 1/3 of the budget already in since that time. And then we said, okay, so how far do we get with 1/3? Actually, we need to wait until we get everything. But then we're waiting, and we're like, no. This needs to move. If we stand still, it starts to stagnate. Correct. So we did it again. We went, oh my God, okay, so we can only pay one trip. But let's do that trip so well that in Santa Fe, where we have the next presentation of the film, we not present snippets, we will present 15 minutes of the actual film, representing all the different layers of what that film will represent. So that with that, we can sell or we can find and attract different investors. But it's the constant, dream big, human fear, let it go, okay, what can I handle now? There, okay, that's pretty far, let's go. Yeah. Focus, and then let it go again. And it's
So it's been cyclical.
Yeah.
Yeah, and experiential, because and again, noticing the patterns, that is so, and again, it's funny, the wheels are spinning. It's metaphoric, and the things that we want to convey within the film, and that's it. It's the constant here, and then expand, and then the experience, and you go, oh, I never saw that coming, or did I? That sort of thing. A perfect example. Thank you. This project has attracted thank you for that, has attracted so many amazing people, Shaumbra and non-Shaumbra, that have assisted us into getting with the project where we are. And it's been amazing. I can't remember everyone's names, but I do want to acknowledge that I can't.
Welcome to my club.
Yeah, but to each and every one of them, it's been amazing, and that's another part of it, because of letting that go as well. Sometimes it's for a specific part that they come in to help out, and then they exit, and then it opens up for someone else to come in, and that's been something for us also to kind of to allow that and to be okay with that.
And it's been partially horrifying, you know, losing,
absolutely.
losing your camera team 3 weeks before you got here.
Yeah, after having booked flights and everything, and the interviews are locked, and then whoop, yeah.
And we had a couple of other people come and go, but what they added was perfect for the time and actually really landed parts that we couldn't have landed.
No.
So it was not about them coming and going. It was
Correct.
like, okay, that's not now needed, and now
Yeah.
we need something else.
Yeah.
But being able to let that go again, and
Yeah.
of course the human is freaking out.
Yeah.
We're not exempt
And
from that at all.
doing the structure parts, like going to the notary, having the companies registered. We've registered a foundation, the Fresh Fund. We've registered the film studio, and we've registered a production company. And you need to go through all of that paperwork, right? So investment contracts and everything. At some point, we could just see numbers and tables where we're like, oh, wow.
What were we doing again?
Yeah.
But it was so important to land that part too, and I know a lot of chambres struggle with that. I know a lot of chambres go, I'd like to really land it in reality, but I'm sort of stopping and hesitating when it comes to taking that very human last step, because it's just boring. Let's be honest. It's just, we want to play, we want to be colorful, we want to, blow the blue part up, but it's part of the human journey to also allow and experience it on that level.
And in doing so, being amazed at who comes in to play those parts that assist us in getting through those mundane things, right? Or at least to us, they kind of seem mundane. But yeah. So
For people,
time?
for people who like it.
Do we want to?
We have a little surprise for you because we've been literally
Does
shooting
anyone
for
want
3
to see
days.
what we've been up to here?
Last
Wait a minute.
Yeah?
1 second, real quick. Where's Tees?
Tees.
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 Come on up here.
Come up here.
Tees.
Tees.
I want them to meet you.
Jeez. Yeah.
Please say hi to their cinematographer, Tees. He's been doing an incredible job with them. Thank you, Tees.
This is our rock star cinematographer.
Thank you. What's it been like to work with these guys?
Well,
Whoa.
I barely know these guys. No, I've not been paid yet. I'll send you the invoice tonight. No, I barely don't know these guys. I've met them quickly in a bar, actually, having drinks.
Yeah, that's
Always a
Chambra.
good place to meet, right?
Woo!
Being completely drunk, I had this great conversation with Jonathan here. And so I told him, give me your card, because I don't do cards. Give me your card, I'll call you tomorrow. And so I did. And that's the start of a great relationship, and
Absolutely.
I'm very happy to be on board.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very, very much. Thank you.
So shall we see what this wonderful man has been up to?
Okay.
All
Here we
right.
go.
Okay.
Yeah. Could we? Yeah. No? Could we get the lights? Is it okay to get the lights now? Thank you.
I love the quiet.
Sound?
Rejuvenate.
Yeah. Can we start it again in sound? Why is the sound?
Doing workshops.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Look at Jonathan. Jonathan's like, where's the sound?
Typecast, man.
All right, I checked it.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's beautiful here. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. I love the quiet, the nature. It's my time to rejuvenate. You know, after being out on the road, traveling, doing workshops, coming back here is just a joy. Really love it.
How important is that to really take your time to be quiet and?
Oh, you have to, otherwise you burn out. And not just even with the work that we do, but the fact that I'm going through all this myself, and I just need that quiet time, that downtime, and this is it, a little rejuvenation, a little quiet nature. And we've got deer and eagles, and but pretty good, huh? Are you guys on the road to enlightenment? Is that where you're going?
It's going to be much easier for the next wave, and they're going to take a look at it and say, okay, now, they're going to read our book or film or whatever have you, and they're going to say, okay, I kind of see now the setup, and I see at least you can get there. Because I think with a lot of us right now, it's like, are we ever going to get there? You know, is there a there? And the human mind jumps in and doubts, and there's something, though, a knowingness really deep within that keeps us going. We know it's there, but the human wants to see it with their eyes. You know, they want Adamus to suddenly manifest in front of them, you know, as proof, or they want they want a whole series of mystical experiences, which, by the way, can be one of the greatest distractions along the path. You have these great big mystical experiences, and they're phenomenal, but then generally people go into depression and they want more mystical experiences. So there's not even a lot of that on this road.
Every human has a lot of pre-programs, pre-installed programs. The religions they grew up in, the gender they carry, the identity they carry in whatever different way, the ancestors they come from, all of these make up who they are. But if you look at it from a broader perspective, every single identification or pre-program is a limitation. What this journey is about is removing the limitations, because really, as angelic beings, we came to Earth to dive into limitation, to have a very concrete experience. You could compare it, let's say, to a board game. Okay, you get together with your friends, we're gonna just have a good time here, we're gonna play a game of Monopoly. Well, that's diving into a very defined limitation for the sake of an experience. Earth is a really complicated Monopoly board.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you.
So there you go.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, very nice.
And we've not had any time for post-production on this, so this is no color grading, nothing. This is pure raw. Jonathan was just like, get something together.
Even the song,
you guys
we
move
had
fast.
to choose something, but that's a whole nother thing. But even the song is just so we can experience it like this.
And this is even missing all of the cinematic. I mean, it is amazingly cinematic, but this
Yeah.
is missing a lot of the layers still, which you'll be able to see in Santa Fe.
It's handsome
Yeah.
already. Thank you. Really
Thank you.
nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a great project. Really, we're here. Send your love and support to these guys. Woo!
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have a PayPal button, and any contribution is very, very welcome. And of course, all of you